Want to get better at Pokemon Go PvP? Well, I'm coaching on Metafy. So click the link in the video description and I'll take you right to my page. What's up, guys? I've got another, actually, well, very similar, exciting team for you today. Whoops, let's pull up the Patreons here first. Gotta give a shout out to you guys. Could not be doing this without you guys. Thank you so much. But yeah, let's get right into this gameplay video because it's a bit of a longer one. We have another Shadow Beedrill team today, but I didn't want to make another video, but this team got me 200 points in 4 sets, which is pretty incredible, just under veteran. And on the leaderboards, actually, at the time of this recording, I'm not really sure where on the leaderboards I'll be, but it'll probably be in the 150 to 200 range. Still plenty of room to climb too with this team. But last time we had an ABB team that looks like a balanced team, right? We didn't have 2 of the same type in the back. Now this time we've got a balanced team. This is a balanced team that looks like an ABB team. You might be thinking, oh, Umbreon, Double Poison, how creative, right? This is not Umbreon Double Poison in ABB. It is Double Poison, but only by name. Really what this is Beedrill and Venusaur. It's Umbreon, a bug, and a grass. So that is essentially this team. Let's cover the moves. Last Resort for sure over Psychic on Umbreon. You need to be able to take down Mandibuzz. That makes that matchup much more comfortable. You're switching out of the fighter matchups anyways. Beedrill, Drill Run, and X-Scissor, pretty standard. I would run Shadow if you have it. If not, I mean, you don't really have a choice to run regular Beedrill. I guess you could also run Shadow Nidoqueen instead of Beedrill, and then Venusaur. There's nothing to talk about for movesets there. So how to play this team? The goal is you stay in the lead with your Pokemon, and you just stay there with Umbreon. And if they don't switch, you don't switch unless there is a Charmer or a Fighter. Then you can switch to Beedrill. Beedrill, I've decided after playing a couple sets, is the better safe switch. So, for example, here we have a G-Fisk lead. Umbreon does not win this match, right? Umbreon loses to G-Fisk. So technically this is a losing lead. If you guys are familiar with my previous video, last season push, which was also a balanced team, we had a Mandibuzz lead there instead. Mandibuzz versus G-Fisk is not as good as Umbreon versus G-Fisk. So you don't have to worry about leaving this G-Fisk with enough health to swap out. If they swap out, they're just giving up switch for free. So that's great. For example, this Earthquake, the second Earthquake does not take you out. You will always get to this next Foul Play. And getting to this next Foul Play is enough to get G-Fisk low enough that they have to throw their energy, so they're gonna have no energy. You're gonna be able to come in and farm down with Venu. I think you can't do with Beedrill, but I haven't tried. But I would just be safe and do this with Venusaur. Get your 3 Vine Whip advantage. Frenzy Pun is so strong. Having this energy advantage is great anyways. So in this case, they come with Sableye, showing why energy advantage is good, but they make a fantastic catch onto their Venusaur. But making a catch doesn't really mean much when you got a Shadow Beedrill ready to just take full advantage of this Venusaur. Gonna take some hits. This player knows to throw Sludge Bomb instead of Frenzy Plant at the Beedrill. So we tank one, but then we shield one. The Sableye is not out of move, so I don't mind going down to another shield. And then I throw the X-Scissor. This is not the play. If you want to beat Sableye, you gotta land a Drill Run. So the goal is to get their shields down so that you can win with Venusaur. Land the Drill Run. If you land the Drill Run, you win the game because you can Poison Jab down before they get to another Foul Play. So that's the Sableye matchup. If I haven't Beedrilled that into your head, sorry, that joke was bad. Drilled that joke. And now I flustered myself. If I hadn't drilled that into your head enough in the last video. In this case, we just need to get to that Frenzy Plant, and gonna be able to take out that Sableye. Sorry about that. Alright, let's see what kind of leads Umbreon will face in the rest of this set. I'm sure there'll be some positive leads for Umbreon, this absolutely tanky, spammy monster. And it's a Victreebel. Okay, so Victreebel. This is a pretty good lead for Umbreon. I think if they Acid Spray, you can lose, but they make a great swap into their Bastion. Nobody swaps their Bastion. This is kind of crazy. But we're going to go into Venusaur. And we're going to try and take this Bastion on out. The thing is with Grass Hole, Venusaur is a core breaker. So Venusaur is going to be a very important part of this team when you're playing against Grass Hole. In this case, it's not actually, well, it's different than what you're expecting. So anyways, charge up. on this Bastion before it gets to the next move. Now I have 2 Frenzy Plants, so if they don't shield, then I have Frenzy Plant for the next Pokemon. If they do shield, I can let my... yeah, I don't know why I didn't shield my Venusaur there. But I'm saved a little bit by them revealing that they actually are running 2 grass types in an ABA. And guess what is a better Pokemon than Venusaur against these grass types? It's actually Shadow Beedrill. Shadow Beedrill is going to shield up here just in case it's an Aerial Ace. I wasn't counting because you don't really need to at this point. My shield's not going to be used for much else. And then Bastion comes in, which doesn't have a move because Venusaur tanked it. We're just going to throw X-Scissors, hoping it'll be enough. And it is. And in comes Victory Bell, and Victory Bell's not going to be able to survive an X-Scissor. Much less, well, I guess it's going to be able to survive one X-Scissor with the shield, but then obviously the second X-Scissor is just going to take it out. Yeah, so honestly this team has a very good matchup versus both versions of Grass Hole. So Vic lead or Vic in the back, it beats both. Also great against Charm, Double Charm. Anyways, another G-Fisk lead, so I've kind of already bored you to death about how to do this one. You just throw your moves with good timing, and essentially all G-Fisk leads will kind of end the same. You're going to end up farming down with Venusaur, probably get 2 to 4 Vine Whips of energy in, depending on IVs. But sometimes they'll swap and catch Foul Play, so you might think this is bad as well. But we're going to go into Venusaur right now. I wasn't sure if this was the correct player, if I should go in with Beedrill, but Venusaur is nice because you don't have to shield at all. There's no move they can fake that's going to force you to shield. So we're going to build up a ton of energy here. Every shield you trade with Azu is good because you outpace them. So in this case, I throw a Frenzy Plant, they shield, I can throw another Frenzy Plant. And do they want to go 2 shields down? Yes, they do. And in this case, for some reason, they don't throw again. So we'll see if they want to go. Well, you can't go 3 shields down. So in this case, Venusaur is able to win switch and 2 shield advantage. That's why you farm up a bunch, because then people might be baited into shielding your moves when really they shouldn't. G-Fisk comes back in, and unfortunately, you don't want to bring Beedrill into this. So we're going to try and take it out with Umbreon. And in comes Medicham, so this is exactly what we wanted. There's not a lot that beats Shadow Beedrill in the 2 shield. It's really just Skarmory. Yeah, I forgot to mention that. So while the rest of this game is playing out, oh sorry, the goal here is to get it to 2 drill runs, take out the Medicham, and then I can just take out the G-Fisk because I win CMP. But yeah, so the main problem here is Skarmory in the back. And because we're not playing ABB, we're not drawing the Skarmory out of the back. But because Skarmory is kind of a lame Pokemon, people only play it in lame lineups. So you know you're going to be, well not lame, but like the standard lineups. So you know you're probably only seeing Skarmory in the back if Swampert is in the lead. So, you know when I said stay in versus everything that's not a fighter or a charmer, or sorry, fairy type? Well, I actually do switch out versus Swampert. And you'll see a couple of those games and how to deal with that. So even though Umbreon does beat Swampert in the 0, okay, here's one already. This is my first game versus it, so I kind of didn't realize until a little bit too late what I was supposed to be doing. In this case, you do have to throw Foul Play and make sure at least one is unshielded. You can shield 2 if you want on their move, if they're shielding yours. But then I go straight into Beedrill and throw the X-Scissor. So I get them into a spot where even Beedrill threatens with just an X-Scissor to take out that Swampert. And what my goal here is to draw out this Skarmory. Unfortunately, Umbreon's kind of low at this point, and it's the main answer to Skarmory. So I'm going to throw Foul Play. I accidentally go over 100 energy. Not a good play. I make a lot of mistakes this game. So I'm pretty adamant that I could have won this game with better play, which shows that Swampert, Skarm in the back is not unbeatable with this team. You just have to recognize to not play it as balanced for once you see the Swampert lead. So in this case, they shield, and for some reason I stay in, despite the fact I'm not going to get to my move. That is the kicker. If I just swapped a Venusaur right away, so Venusaur into Skarmory, I would have been able to take down the Skarmory with 1 shield, because all I would need is a Frenzy Plant, and then I'd be able to take down this A9 with another shield, because all I would need is a Sludge Bomb. But unfortunately, I let the Skarmory farm my Umbreon all the way down, so it's at 2 moves. So we're going to lose. That's as simple as that. And if not for this game, this set would have been a 5-0, I believe. So, team working really well. I guess I will get you guys to take note of my rating. Right now, it was 2,280, I think. Or 70 something. We're going to get a nice 4-1, and we're going to see how much rating we gain after these 4 sets. Okay, so a bit of an intermission. We got a spice intermission here. This is what happens on stream. Sometimes people redeem pick my team stuff. So, player asked me to run triple poison jab, and here's the result. It's just one game. I figured I would show this to you guys as a fun little spice break. So obviously this team, if you run into Skarmory, you're done. But we're running Skuntank in the front because I felt like it was the best answer to Skarmory that I had. That was a Poison Jabber. And then we've got an ABB line with Beedrill and Nidoqueen in the back. Unfortunately, I shielded a Poison Jab. But in comes Drapion. I'm really hoping it's not running Aqua Tail. Hopefully it's Crunch, which it is. And then we're going to go straight for the Earth Power here. And really hope we get this off. Drapion is a bit of a problem. But luckily we do. In comes Dewgong. They wanted a nice farm, so I'm going to give them a nice Poison Fang so that the Icy Wind on my next Pokemon won't make too much of a difference. I'm going to come in with Beedrill because Beedrill can't tank a Psycho Boost. So even though this Icy Wind, it doesn't hurt that much. But now my Poison Jabs are still doing the normal amount of damage because my attack is debuffed, but their defense is also debuffed. So able to take this Dewgong down. I think I'm going to not shield here because my win condition is coming in with Skuntank and just getting a nice farm and landing one crunch on Deoxys with a shield. So pretty comfortable win, all things considered. Yeah, Deoxys can take a crunch, but just barely. But that's triple Poison Jab for you guys. Now, back to the scheduled broadcast. We have Umbreon, Shadow Beedrill, Venusaur. Actually, no, here we have Mattress King congratulating me on a fantastic win with triple Poison Jab. Yeah, sorry. If you guys didn't want to see that, I should have told you to skip earlier. But anyways, Pidgeot lead. Here we go. This matchup is probably pretty good in the Zero Shield because if Pidgeot doesn't shield, it's going to take a lot of damage from this first foul play. So I know I'm probably getting a shield, which is exactly where I want to be. This is the dream for this team. You want to lose lead and have shield advantage coming out of that lead. That's the absolute dream right there. Especially with seeing Pidgeot in the front. That's not something Beedrill or Venusaur wants to see. So if my Umbreon can essentially take out this Pidgeot, it's likely that whatever's in the back, my Beedrill and Venusaur can take out. But I've got to be careful here. It'd be very scary if this Pidgeot did Brave Bird. But for some reason, they're going to throw a third Feather Dance, even though my attack is already maximum debuffed. And even though my attack is maximum debuffed, and Umbreon is really tanky, these foul plays are doing as much damage as Feather Dance. So it's almost like Feather Dance isn't really worth it as a move. But maybe that's just me. I really think this move got overrated before it got nerfed, and then now that it's nerfed, it's actually just not very good at all. They have energy for one final Feather Dance. I'm going to come in with Beedrill, I think. Oh no, Venusaur, yeah. Just because I figured, if they've got this flying type in the front, maybe they don't have anything that resists grass in the back, so if I can get a head start on energy, then we can win. It's also important to note that Sableye in the back, if you have a 1 Vine Whip advantage on Venusaur, that just flips the whole thing. So getting that 1 Vine Whip start versus a Sableye can be the game changer. In this case, I'm not shielding my Venusaur. They've already gone 2 shields down. So at this point, I know I can have a 2 shield Shadow Beedrill versus anything, and the fact that they didn't bring a Skarmory on my Venusaur means that they likely don't have a Skarmory. So, let's go with the Beedrill. That's a G-Fisk. Oh, not a great matchup for Beedrill, but pretty good matchup in the 2 versus 0 shield. So, just have to land 2 drill runs. I probably won't even have to tank a Rock Slide unless they sneak some moves through, and I don't. Actually, no, there's no way. Yeah, shield up another. You can actually tank a Rock Slide from G-Fisk, but maybe not in the 2 shields. It'll do probably, I feel like, around like 80% of your HP. It'd be very close, so better be safe than sorry. Shield that up, and then take down this Medicham, which doesn't have any energy. All right, that's another win though in the book. Where are the good leads though? I haven't had a good lead yet. Okay, so Skarmory in the lead. I consider this good because it's very hard not to win switch advantage here. And then once you have one switch advantage, then Venusaur can just take out the Swampert. I try to CMP tie on this one, on their Brave Bird if they are going to Brave Bird and dip, but they don't throw. That's okay. It only takes 3 Foul Plays to take out Skarmory anyways. We'll see what they want to do. We'll Brave Bird here on Sky Attacks. But if no moves are snuck through, you're going to get to your Foul Play before they get to that Sky Attack. In this case, they shielded, so I'm not going to shield. But hopefully it's low enough that I can Poison Jab it down or something like that. In comes Sableye, and I probably shouldn't have swapped here. I kind of I panic swapped, and I expected there to be a Swampert in the back, but I let my Venusaur take a hit here, and we're gonna throw Frenzy Plant, try and get a shield, or take it down. Then in comes Skarmory. We'll throw Frenzy Plant at the Skarmory, and then hope it's not a Swampert, which this case it was a Medicham, so everything worked out pretty well, all things considered. Very interesting team, actually. Just Skarmory instead of Bastion, and then Beedrill in the 2 shield obviously has its way with Medicham. You just land a Drill Run and shield whatever they throw. You just can't take a Psychic. You can take an Ice Punch pretty easily, and you you double resist the counters, so Medicham doesn't really tickle you down very fast. Sorry. If that blew some of your eardrums. Alright. Next game. We have Mandibuzz lead, so this is why we run Last Resort. Love to see Mandibuzz in the lead. This is like the most comfortable win, just because like you don't win by that much, but like both Pokemon are so tanky that the margin is actually very small. They actually swap into their Vigoroth, and I am a dummy, and I throw Foul Play. So at this point I go into Venusaur. If I was planning on throwing Foul Play, I should not have gone into Venusaur. I should have gone into Beedrill. But in this case, because I did that, we're gonna have to throw Frenzy Plant. Frenzy Plant one-shots anyways, or after a couple of Vine Whips, so no reason to throw the Foul Play. And of course they're gonna come in with Mandy. So this is okay. They can throw right away, and I still have that Mandy answer in Umbreon. And now this Mandy is throwing a move, and I've thrown a move on a different Pokemon, so we're literally back at square one. Enjoy the 5-minute battle between these two. This is high skill, riveting gameplay that I'm bringing to you guys. I'm a bit more careful about the catch this time, because I already got caught on once. Yeah, in comes Sirfetch'd, and this is a great matchup. So I thought they might be at Brave Bird if I missed a counter or two, but they were not. But might as well shield. I could take a Night Slash for sure, but there's no reason to, I guess. Because if I just farm all the way down, if I land at least one of these X-Scissors on the Mandibuzz, it's game over. Yeah, and they realize it, so. Pretty solid victory there. Not too much to worry about in that one. Alright, Bastion lead. This is not great either. But it's another long matchup. So Bastion versus Umbreon on the 0 shield. It's honestly kind of close. And it puts you in great farm range for Venusaur, which means Venusaur can get an absolute huge farm unless they decide to swap out and give up Switch. And a lot of these Bastion teams have stuff in the back that does not want to see either the Venusaur or Venusaur with an energy advantage. So Pelipper, for example, doesn't want to take any hits from Venusaur. Sorry, any Frenzy Plants from Venusaur. Yeah, we're going to get to another Foul Play. At this point, this Bastion is pretty low. And we actually CMP. So, perfect. They're going to take us out. Or get close. Yeah, not quite. Not quite. But Venusaur can come in. Get a great farm here. If they throw the move, you have to shield, which is unfortunate. But we'll see what comes in. And it's Sableye. Our best friend, Sableye. So, if they're bringing in Sableye against Venusaur with a full Frenzy Plant already loaded, then they're in some trouble. So I just throw right away because I'm trying to CMP. We actually lose CMP, so this is not a very XL Sableye. But what they don't realize, or maybe what they didn't realize, was that the third Frenzy Plant and third Foul Play is 5. So this is only their second. So they get there in 6, but I get there in 5. So we're going to be able to take out the Sableye and have a shield remaining. So unless there's a Skarmory in the back, which there isn't, we're going to be able to get that Frenzy Plant off. And then go into Beedrill. Shield up one of whatever, and then we'll be able to get the X-Scissor off, because we outpace. So they can't even get to do Ice Punches at this point. They go for the Psychic. That's a good play from them, hoping that I'm calling a bait or something like that. But it's not going to happen. I guess they could have won if they had Ice Punch and Power Punch. Hey, 5-0. So we're going to shoot up the ratings with that. 2, 3, 8, 9. We're already up over 100 points in just 2 sets. Although I guess one of the games was technically triple Poison Jab, but that's kind of a meme. Alright, Stunfisk lead. You guys have seen a lot of this, and you'll probably see a lot more of it. So this matchup is important every time. Once again, just soak those Earthquakes and throw those foul plays. And I feel like I've said this a billion times. They actually go into Venusaur here, so we're going to go into Beedrill. We get a little bit more farm, so we can actually threaten the G-Fisk now. And we'll see what this Venusaur wants to do. Yeah, they just throw a Frenzy Plant. So Frenzy Plant doesn't do enough. But Drill Run from this HP, from about just less than half, I think does. Or they're 1 away. No, it does. So we're going to take them out. I think it's better than having to spend a shield there. At this point, G-Fisk can't farm down. And I should be able to... Oh, I didn't quite do the math correctly. Not quite able to get to a Drill Run before that. But they have to throw their energy. And now Umbreon comes in. And... it's got a pretty decent matchup versus G-Fisk. Why don't I go into Venusaur here? That's a good question. That is a very good question. They already came in with Venusaur, so it's likely they probably... Sorry, they already came in with... yeah, they're Venusaur, so it's likely they have a Pelipper in the back. So we're going to swap right away to start getting the farm down. It's not a Pelipper. Sableye. So also very... Oh yeah, this is the other team that this could be. I don't know why they swapped their Venusaur though, instead of swapping their Sableye. That might have made it a little bit of a trickier game. So because we have that energy advantage, we're just going to shield everything. And they're going to shield everything. And they're just hoping that they sneak in more moves than me. But it's about the same. And throw the Frenzy Plant. Good job, Venusaur. You've done well. But your job's not done yet. Time to take out the G-Fisk. So that's why we swapped early onto the G-Fisk too. To get that energy lead. Because if it's another Venusaur, well, it can't be double Venusaur, but like if there's a Venusaur in the back in general, or a Sableye where you have the same pace exactly, it's very important that you're able to win this game. Yeah, so let's count counters in this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And they swap at 6 counters, so let's remember that. So anyways, Scrafty lead. This is the first one in a while that we actually swap out of. So we're going to go into Beedrill, and they're going to come in with Jellicent. So get to 2 Drill Runs because they swapped 6 counters slow, right? And we're going to throw a Drill Run here, take out the Jellicent. Scrafty's going to... No, Scrafty's not going to come back in. What am I saying? Nidoqueen's coming in. So in this case, I'm not going to shield Poison Fang. Because it doesn't KO. Can't get to the Drill Run. Hopefully they're not counting. Or they think I have an invisible move. I think that they must, because they must be mystified I got to 2 Drill Runs there. And then I come in with Umbreon to kind of just take down this Nidoqueen. Because Venusaur should be able to deal with Scrafty, right? 4, 5. So that was, I think that was 6 more because of the one invisible one. So at 6, oh no, sorry, 5 more. So now that's 6. No, sorry, that's 7. So now they're at, they should be at another foul play. They should be 1 short of a foul play, even in counting 1 invisible move on the switch. So somehow there was another move snuck in. I really should have known there's no reason to throw there if it's just a power-up punch. I should have just shielded. But this game was a very easy win that I kind of just gave up because the counts weren't... Yeah, there's the rage quit right there. You can feel the rage as I slam that OK button. But yeah, a rare loss with this team. Very, very sad. And I think I played this next game pretty tilted too. So Azure will lead. We're going to switch right out of this into Beedrill. Obviously, in comes the Marowak. So I'm just going to throw the Drill Run. Unfortunately, I timed the move improperly. Well, it was timed properly, but somehow the move still snuck through. So I'm dealing with game issues 2 games in a row now. But yeah, Beedrill, obviously not good into Marowak. But we do have Umbreon. Umbreon is fantastic into Marowak. We know there's an Azu, so building up this energy doesn't really matter too much. But at the same time, the Shadow Bones, they don't do anything. So we're kind of just waiting for the switch clock here. Actually, I should throw my foul play a little bit earlier, because if they do swap, I'm in a little bit of trouble. But I doubt they'll swap because they know they have me hard countered with that Azu. And then we're going to come in with the Venusaur, of course. In comes Skarmory. What the heck? How did this get played like that? How, when I swap in Beedrill, do they not swap in Skarmory? That's the most comfortable matchup of all time. You don't have to shield a Drill Run or anything. You just come with the Skarmory. So, feel like someone knew my team already. Otherwise, you don't make that play. Very, very interesting. So this is what should happen. You swap out of a fighter, and you get the Skarmory. So Skarmory in the back. Yeah, so the other thing that's common for Skarmory to be in the back of is fighters. So you're swapping out of those anyways. It's really just Swampert that you have to add to that list of fighters and Charmers. So Skarmory actually takes quite a bit of damage from the Drill Runs. He's able to get a Brave Bird off, which doesn't really matter. And then another move, which is probably Sky Attack. We're going to farm a little bit more. No, we're not. We CMP tied and lost. So I undercharge. I want some farm. Give me some farm, Skarmory. So farm a little bit more. Smashing that Venusaur button already. And Azu actually came in. It wasn't even Surfetched. So in this case, this is kind of tricky. I have to let him move through. First, these counters, they add up. They really do. So obviously going to shield everything here. And then going to throw a Frenzy Plant here, grab the last shield. And then Venusaur is going to farm all the way down, hopefully. So, oh no, it's not. I saved my... Oh my god, I'm so smart! Past me is so smart! What the... Wow, I'm so next level. Okay, I swap into the Venusaur to catch that counter damage. And we have a Frenzy Plant still on Venusaur, which I didn't want to use to take out the Surfetched. So now we have this Frenzy Plant, and because the Surfetched took a Snarl damage, my next Vine Whip should be able to take him out. We're able to KO the Azu, and then we're able to take out the Surfetched. I forgot about this game. Yeah, I thought I'd lost for sure. But we're able to bring this back into a positive set, salvaging, or potentially positive set, salvaging 3 straight losses in a row right there, and 2 of them being game-related issues. So another bad lead. This set is just full of bad leads. That's 4 in a row I've swapped out of. But if they swap slow into Beedrill, you can punish them very hard. So we get 1 shield already with the Drill Run. They'll throw a Rock Slide or whatever, it's fine. And you live it. So you're able to get to a second Drill Run. So you really force the issue with G-Fisk. G-Fisk will usually get greedy and try and farm you down, so you will get shield advantage out of it. And then the farm is kind of useless because you got your Umbreon, and your Umbreon serves no purpose at this point except to just tank all the energy from G-Fisk. At this point, obviously, Azu's going to come back in, so we swap into Venusaur, and it's a Nidoqueen. So Nidoqueen, not a lot of fun to play against, not going to lie. But with shield advantage on Venusaur, it's not too bad. We're going to get this Frenzy Plant off. I usually say never shield the first one. With Venusaur, you have to shield the first one or you get farmed down. And then once again, you're going to have to shield that one, so we're both down shields. I farm up a little bit more because this Azu might be close to getting to a move. So I farm as much as I possibly can before I get taken down. So another like frame perfect play here. We're gonna actually still CMP tie the Azu, so I farmed exactly as much as I needed to. Wow, I didn't remember playing this well in my last 2 games, but played exactly as well as I needed to. And Umbreon gonna show that they're actually the true Umbreon, or the true Azu counter here. Just take out that Azu with a nice last resort. And that 3 wins. I mean, we had 2 losses in a row. That was almost 4 losses in a row, and I think that was maybe 5 bad leads in this set. But we still got 3-2. So, pretty good team. Alright, this next set. Drifblim lead. This is exactly what you want to see. And then in comes Azu. We're going to go in with Venusaur because this matchup is extremely comfortable. So once again, we let them throw their Ice Beam. That's fine. So they threw at 5. Now we can throw 7 Vine Whips and throw right before their next Ice Beam. And we'll be at 100 energy. It's perfect. It always works out perfectly. This Frenzy will KO. And then in comes Drifblim, I'm sure. Throw a Frenzy Plant. And you're like, oh no, the Drifblim's going to soak up all this damage, right? But, like, look at those Frenzy Plants. Like, I had to check, is that like a 1300 Drifblim or something like that? Under XS Drifblim? Yeah, look, that's how much damage you do to something that's resisted with Venusaur after a farm down of Azu. Like, if someone switches in an Azu, that should be game over. In this case, they swap into Stunfisk. And Beedrill has nowhere to go this game. Beedrill had one place to go this game. Their line actually worked out really well, baiting out the Venusaur instead of the Beedrill. But you just have to shield an Earthquake instead of a Rock Slide, and I think you win this matchup in the 1 and 2 shields. So just shield those Earthquakes. They likely won't bait on the first one. They'll start baiting when you get low health and you feel pressured to shield. But in this case, I'm going to shield another Earthquake. Yeah, those are going to be by far the most damaging things to do. So Drifblim throws an Icy Wind, and I switch to Beedrill to get some farm off. We're just going to go for the Drill Run. Force a shield for sure. Force the issue. Actually, no, I'm thinking about it. Yeah, we go for the Drill Run now. And I think they might just let this through because their win con is if I bait. Yeah, so that's why you don't bait a lot of the time. Because that's how you can lose games to your opponent that you for sure should not have. Yeah, this was a good lead, so we just kept switch. Kept Umbreon healthy. Those Frenzy Plants on Drifblim ended up actually being a big deal. Lickitung lead. Oh, another comfortable lead. This feels really good. Those licks are resisted. And Body Slam does quite a bit, but Foul Play does quite a bit too. And you get to the Foul Plays faster than they get to Body Slams by... Actually, I think it's about the same. Well, first one's the same, and then every other one is quite a bit faster, so... You get these Foul Plays off. Yeah. This Lickitung... Look at the health difference right now. Like, this Lickitung has a lot of energy, but still the health difference is quite a big thing. I want my Umbreon to be kind of low, though. Because I know if they're playing a Lickitung lead, they're trying to soft lose lead, and they're trying to farm my Umbreon down. So I want to take as many Body Slams as possible and have as much energy as possible. That's how you combat that. So in this case, I let them throw one more Body Slam at me. It's going to be very close. But we're going to get this Foul Play off. And then I also have another Foul Play almost ready to go if they do want to shield and win switch. In this case, we're going to get to a Last Resort versus this Azu. It really does not matter at this point. I thought about switching out to Beedrill here to avoid the farm down. That probably would have been the better play in hindsight. But we're going to come in with Venusaur, and this is still pretty comfortable, depending on what they have in the back. But this Azu is nowhere to go. Yeah, it's Sableye. So in this case, we'll throw a Frenzy Plant. And then swap. So I let my Venusaur get a little bit lower. That's fine, because this Azu can't farm down anyways. So we're wasting some of the Shadow Claw energy on Beedrill. Sorry, Shadow Claw damage on Venusaur. So just going to keep shielding up. I spent my 2 shields now. At this point, we're just going to go for the double Drill Run. X-Scissor will probably be enough from this point, but you don't want to chance it. Just take the free wins when you get them. Don't play around with baiting and stuff like that. I lost a couple too many games in the last video because of that. And then if this Azu tries to farm all the way down, you just hit it with a big Drill Run. And those Poison Jabs really, really add up. Yeah, there's nothing you can do there. Got another favorable lead though, so if you win lead, it's very easy to win that on the back line, because both form a pretty good core with Umbreon, so they'll usually have stuff in the back weak to what you're running. Okay, Umbreon lead, so get ready for fast move denial. You can see I have 3 fingers on the screen right here, trying to pump my moves through their moves, and it didn't work. But I think both myself and my opponent are fast move denying extremely hard, or like as hard as we can, because almost no one's getting free moves through, and we must live similar distance away from the Seattle servers. Or, sorry. I don't know if they're in Seattle. But either way, this matchup is electric. We talked about Umbreon versus G-Fisk. What about Umbreon versus Umbreon? This matchup is incredibly close. The IVs on my Umbreon are great. The IVs on most people's Umbreons are great. So you're going to see a lot of very similar matchups. And we go for the next last resort. And they actually got there before me. I didn't see a single move sneak through, did you? This whole time. So somehow they got an invisible last resort through. Sorry, invisible snarl through. But it doesn't matter. We're both going to faint at the same time. So, at this point, I got 2 poison types. I'm really hoping it's not some sort of Hypno in the back. But it's a Frostlass. Yikes. Not ideal, right? We're going to go with the X-Scissor. And they don't shield it. But I get another X-Scissor off. And we really have to hope whatever's in the back Venusaur could deal with. So the problem is, if I just gone for the Drill Run, I would have been able to take them out right there. But they somehow call my bait. I shield up. And they come in with the Azu, so that's what we love to see. Umbreon and Azu, very common partners, right? Because Azu covers the fighting types. And it's a play rough Azu as well, which means I can take advantage of this Azu far more than I could any other Azu. But I don't. I just take advantage of it the normal amount. In comes the Frostlass. We have a Frenzy Plant ready to go, and they know it's over at this point. So yeah, that's what happens if someone swaps in an Azu. Don't just take it out right away. This is a free... It's free real estate. Take that Azu, take it to 100 energy, don't even spend a shield. You have a Frenzy Plant for the next Pokemon. Unless they have a Skarmory, that Frenzy Plant is going to really hurt. So Venusaur's in the back, great at punishing those Azu switch-ins. Alright, so this is not a good lead. And it's a Charmer too, so we're going to swap out. And they bring in Medicham. So at this point, I'm pretty sure it's the A9, Charm A9 lead, and then Medicham and Bastion on the back. And I've kind of given up my best Bastion answer already. So I'm not really sure why I swapped in my Venusaur. I think it's because I assumed it was a Powder Snow A9, and that's what you have to do. But if it's a Charm A9, I would swap in Beedrill for sure. In this case, we kind of have to fight over Switch, because I cannot have Umbreon going up against the A9. So what I have to do here is I want the Bastion to come in so I can weaken it with a Frenzy Plant. If they came in with A9, I'd be in a lot of trouble. But they think they need to save their A9 for my Umbreon. Unfortunately, their A9 is never going to even see my Umbreon. I'm not even going to let it touch my Umbreon. Beedrill is a great guard. Once I get that Frenzy Plant off, yeah, it's essentially over. In this case, I'm not messing around. I know my Umbreon can handle that Bastion at that HP, so we're going to take it out with a Drill Run, and then we're going to force Bastion to throw at Beedrill, otherwise it's going to take a Drill Run and get KO'd. So Beedrill took out the A9 and drained all of Bastion's energy. That's all I needed from it, and I'm just going to practice my fast move denial, throw off these foul plays. So this is a pretty common line too. I know Onion Frank ran it for a long time, but this team is a pretty good matchup versus it as well. You just have to beat that Medicham in the switch, the counter switch. So yeah, gonna be able to reach yet another foul play. I wonder how many we should have a foul play counter, to be honest, for this team. I feel like I get off like 5 or 6 foul plays a game with Umbreon. And then I believe this is the last battle. We're gonna get a good lead. Bad lead, Swampert. Oh, so this is what I was talking about. Swampert is generally a good lead, right? But what's in the back? It's probably a Skarmory. So we gotta see how to play this. This Swampert actually, I believe, goes straight for the Earthquake, if I remember. Which is good. All the energy is gone, and they actually swap at the same time as me, unfortunately, into Venusaur. So maybe it's not a Skarmory in the back team. But they throw the Sludge Bomb. I farm up a little bit more, because we saw it at the same time. I can get away with throwing X-Scissor here. Whatever comes back, I'm going to have some liberty with. Yeah, no Skarmory in this one, but it's an Alolan Marowak, which definitely isn't as bad. Dang, I thought this was a Skarmory in the back one, but it's not. But essentially what you would do is what I did there. Yeah, they're going to... As soon as the Umbreon comes back in, that's game over. They know they've lost. Even without seeing the fact that I have Venusaur in the back. But that's a 5-0, as they would say. Yeah, 5-0. And that'll push us to 2-4-8-2. So over 200 points in 4 sets with this team. And if you notice in the middle set, like, there's not a lot of good leads. A lot of bad stuff was happening there. But I do think this team is pretty strong. I love using Shadow Beedrill. It's just a lot of fun to use. But yeah, beware the Skarmories in the back, that's for sure. But yeah, so that's the video. Thank you all for watching. I hope you guys all have a great weekend.